Welcome to my video on self-confidence. On the self-confidence series, it is the second video. In the first video, we learned about some of the hurdles like fear and how to overcome the fear. Now in this video, we are going to discuss about the self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is one of the hurdle for a right self-confidence. So we are going to discuss about the cure of self-consciousness. So our daily speech offers one of the best opportunities for eliminating self-consciousness. The student should aim here to develop a definiteness of idea, sincerity of expression, and a concentration of mind. Nothing leads too quickly to hesitation and embarrassment in a speaker as a mental uncertainty. To speak confidently, he must not guess or imagine or take for granted. He must know. Lack of proper mental equipment is responsible for a large part of the fearfulness of men. One who really knows what he speaks and is absolutely sure of it, it is likely to be sure of himself. It manifests itself in his voice, his use of words, his manner, and his entire personality. The speaker should cultivate sincerity in his conversation. He will avoid formal compliments and empty platitudes. He will not talk like a book. He will not talk like a book. He will not talk for talking's sake. He will speak for a purpose, and this will enable him easily to concentrate his mind upon the subject of his conversation. He will listen attentively and interestedly to others. Above all, he will not speak of himself unless obliged to do so, and then briefly, modestly, and gently. You may ask, in what manner then shall he speak? Newman's definition of a gentleman here rings in our ears. He guards against unreasonable illusions or topics which may irritate. He is seldom prominent in conversation and never wearisome. He makes light of favors when he does them and seems to be receiving when he is conferring. He never speaks of himself except when compelled, never defends himself by a mere retort. He has no fear for slander or gossip. He is scrupulous in imputing motives to those who interfere with him and interpret everything for the best. The self-discipline begins naturally with deep breathing. Many men do not realize that the manner in which they breathe affects their attitude of mind. It is altogether too common to use but one half of the breathing capacity. A man who breathes only with his upper chest is without the vigor and vitality essentially to a high degree of self-confidence. Deep breathing should be practiced daily until it becomes an unconscious habit. What is remedy for this dreaded self-consciousness? It is mainly a matter of securing control of one's thought and intelligently directing them. The mind is a machine which must be made obedient to the owner's will. When brought under subjection, it will serve man's highest and best purposes. But left to its but left to itself, it may run easily to confusion and destruction. Here you perhaps interpose, but my mind wanders. Then go after it and bring it back. You say you cannot. Who is operating your mind? Does it run itself? What would you think of a train that had no engineer, no conductor, no one to direct it, and was allowed to run anywhere? Yet, this is what you permit with your train of ideas. Be sensible. Take hold of yourself seriously. Set your will to work. Straighten your spine. Take time to take time today for mental overhauling. You are about to educate your will and it is a serious business. Procrastination will not do. From this time forward, resolve to control and direct your mental powers of definite purposes. Let it be said here, without attempt to realize that wrongdoing will contribute its share to self-consciousness. It may be an injury done another, an unfair advantage in business, or a secret habit, but whatever it be, its mark is seared upon the conscience and sooner or later finds expression in embarrassment. What should one do who comes under this classification of unfair injury? Stop every undesirable habit and resolve hereafter to deal justly with all men. Constantly hold in your mind a highest estimate of yourself, but be sure you have reasonable reasons for doing so. It is of a little use to say you are well if you are ill. Do not deceive yourself. You are no greater than the sum of your thoughts and habits. Have you good and sufficient reason for yourself? Sufficient reasons for your self approbation? Are you a man of noble impulse? Is your ambition lofty? Have you high ideals and do you work persistently to realize them? Are you doing the best you can? Have you an uncompromising love for truth? So these are some of the points you have to think. Timid people concern themselves too much about what others will think and say. They are constantly studying the impressions they are making upon people who probably are not even thinking of them. Their supersensitiveness causes them to imagine themselves being criticized, slighted, and unfairly condemned by those who all the while are absorbed in their own affairs. A man may be on the road to success when a single act of timidity may annul all his chances. People lose confidence in him if he lacks faith in himself. Courage is admired, fear never is. Courage is dignified, fear is repulsive. The man of courage is welcomed everywhere, while fear invites itself to a seat in the rear. Every man should learn stand firmly upon his own feet. As himself he may become great, as an imitator he will amount to little. A man must have the courage to be himself and not the shadow or the echo of another. He must exercise his own powers, think his own thoughts, and speak his own sentiments. He must elaborate his own opinions and form his own convictions. It has been said that he who dare not form an opinion must be a coward. He who will not must be an idler. He who can God must be a fool. So, so these are some of the ideas. Self-consciousness, self-consciousness may arise from self-conceit. The victim say to himself, "What impression am I making of? Do I look well? What are they thinking and saying about me?" On the other hand, it may be due to extreme humility. Such a man says inwardly, "I am not equal to this. I lack so many things. If I had only been born right, my father was bashful before me. I shall sure fail." So these are the thoughts the person who is having self-consciousness usually maintains and repeats in his own mind. The evil of extreme self-consciousness is that it makes a man do so many things he does not wish to do. It changes his line of conduct a hundred times a day, makes him say yes when he would rather say no, and in short robs him of his power and individuality. A self-conscious man must sooner or later rid himself of this fault if he is to be prominently successful. So this video I think will give you good guidance and help you more, and like my video and click the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel so as not to miss a video, and visit my website personalitydevelopmentready.com, which is given below the video. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.